You can give in to the dark, or you can trip a little like fantastic.
Hi, I'm Jamie Boddy, and I'm here at the Royal Albert Hall for the European premiere of Mary Poppins Returns. I will be talking to some of the cast and creatives and finding out how it is to work on a sequel of one of Disney's most iconic films.
With me, for if you hide under the covers, you might never see the day.
England can't get enough of you. It's enough Heart, Hamilton. What is it you love about England?
Oh, I love everything about it. You know, it was one of the best parts of making this film was living in London for a year, discovering the restaurants and discovering the candy. You guys have like the best candy in the world. Those flying saucers, your chocolate frogs, your dib-dabs. This could be a candy blog, honestly. I could just keep talking.
Can you describe the film in 5 words?
Practically perfect in every way.
O'Leary's job's to light the way.
What was the appeal for you to say yes to this project, to take on the character of Jack?
2 people, Rob Marshall and Emily Blunt. I think Rob is one of the greatest musical directors of all time. I put him up there with Vincent Minnelli and Stanley Donen. And Emily Blunt is the perfect Mary Poppins, as anyone who sees this movie agrees.
It's crazy, isn't it? She genuinely is like...
Yeah, she walks in and there she is.
Yeah, what was that experience like on set when you saw her as Mary for the first time?
Oh, I mean, when I saw her in the Sandy Powell coat and outfit, it was complete. But, I mean, from the first table read, we knew she had it.
Quite intense rehearsals as well for this. Was it 9 weeks or something
9
you
weeks.
said?
Yeah, Hamilton didn't have 9 weeks of rehearsal. That's extraordinary.
But is it that way that Rob wants to approach it as a theatrical production, you know, to make sure everybody, so it's almost run like a musical live performance?
Yeah, and that's what made me feel so at home as a performer coming from theater, because by the time we're rolling cameras, we were a company already. We were a company of actors.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Jack.
Jack is a lamplighter. Jack was an apprentice to Bert in the first film, but the thing about that is Bert had like 20 jobs in that first film. He cleaned chimneys and he played 12 instruments. So what we really know about Jack is that he's the same age as Michael and Jane Banks, but he knows that Mary's magic is real.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be in a Disney film?
It's so surreal, really magical to think that I've done all of those amazing things, and then I watch it on the screen and I'm like, that was me! It's so amazing. Mary Poppins is my favourite Disney film, not even lying. The first one is my favourite film ever, it's amazing. And this one will soon overtake.
Yes. So, and how did you balance your schoolwork as well as being on set?
So I had a tutor on set, which was really helpful. It's kind of nice because there's a bit more of a small class, there's like 3 of us. Very compact, you know. There wasn't a lot of us, there was 2 of us, you know. And it was really nice to keep up with my schoolwork and still be able to do all of these amazing things.
Can you describe the film in 5 words for us?
Magical, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Damn it, I'm going to start again. Practically perfect in every way, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Troubles are incessant, simply be more incandescent, for your life comes with a lifetime guarantee.
I take you back to that moment where you got the call, you got the email or whatever saying, okay.
Well, I knew that I knew something quite big was coming down the pipe because Rob Marshall, it almost felt like he was about to propose to me. It was like, had such a charged energy behind it. And I was like, this is it. I'm going to marry Rob Marshall. This is where it happens. And when he said Mary Poppins, I was completely shocked. But yet it's an instantaneous yes, obviously. I knew it was a sort of once-in-a-lifetime chance.
And he's a man who this is such an important thing to him. It was the first film he ever watched as a kid, 4 years old, had a connection with him, and that you knew from him doing that he was going to make it special.
Well, I just think because he approached it with such passion and depth and protection of the first film, because he's such a lover of it, and there's nobody else who could walk that meticulous line of paying homage and yet carving out new space for himself. He's got guts, you know.
Yeah. I loved Emily Mortimer was just saying that on set it was pretty much like a musical the whole time. You kind of,
Well, especially with those kids. I mean, it's,
how did you cope with that? Honestly, they're amazing.
No, Joel's absolutely bonkers. He's so naughty and so funny.
Had to adopt actual real life Mary Poppins at times to keep him in check.
They were so special. I'm so fond of them. I love those kids.
Well, this is tremendous. It's fantastic.
How does it feel now, like the big premiere is here? It's a kind of, your job is done.
Absolutely, my job is done. You know, the screenwriter is one of the first done on the project, so it's really exciting to see the film come together. But then you see it months in advance, and to actually see it finally opening so the whole world can watch is, I can't tell you how exciting.
How was it writing something that has to kind of be true to the original Mary Poppins, but it's in a whole new decade now, new genre? How was that?
Well, that was one of our biggest challenges, and we wanted to make sure we honored the first film that brought back that story you remember. But we also had to make sure that it was our own story, that it stood on its own. And so we worked very hard to make it something special, figure out why Mary would come back to begin with, which is why we moved it to another era. And there are no original stories by Neil Travers with grown Michael and Jane Banks. But we wanted to tell a story about what it's like when you're damn old and forget a little bit the magic.
Can you describe the film in 5 words?
5 words. I have to count now. That's the problem. It's not saying it quickly. There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Robin Hood the Fox.
There's a light at light at end of tunnel.
Yes, I like that. It's time for
Sorry.
Hello.
How's it going?
Yeah, so well, thanks. How are you?
Good, you're looking very dapper in the
Oh,
screen.
thank you so much, man. Yeah.
And
How
also
was
in a
it
way
working
that's
on
not
the film?
How was it working on the film? It was spectacular, marvelous, incredible, crazy. I don't really have the words to describe entirely how I felt working on this amazing project.
So you were to Disney, you were young Simba as well.
Yes, I did play young Simba in the Australian premiere of The Lion King, yeah.
How does it feel to come back to your Disney roots?
It feels
form of escape.
sensational. There's nothing better than working on a Disney project, and this film is exactly that. It's the most magical experience I've had in my entire life.
Can you describe the film in 5 words?
5 words. Magical, love, dance, song, and magical twice.
Well, Disney, it's so much magic.
You're right, it's absolutely magic. It's absolutely.
And what's next for you?
What's next for me? I'm currently working on a musical called Madiba, which is a new musical based on the life of Nelson Mandela that's touring Australia and New Zealand. So I have that starting off, I'm currently working on it, but it continues into 2019. And then after that, options are open, and I'm kind of, feeling what else is out there.
Perfect. Keep vibing down the red carpet.
That's it, I will, man. I'll keep dancing all the way down the red carpet. Woo! Gotta stay warm.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, lovely to talk.
But the song and dance number is wonderful in this film. And it's all you, and you're just throwing yourself into it. You're having so much fun.
I did. I had way too much fun. He said the first day that he pitched it to me, he said, "And you'll swing on the chandelier." I said, "I'm in." How could I not?
What is it about Rob Marshall? You've worked with him before, and he's the only person who could have made this, I think.
He is the only person that really, he conceived it and had a lot to do with the writing of it, and he choreographed it, and he imagined it. Visually, he's extraordinary, but he does all of that, wears all of those hats effortlessly. I mean, he's so kind. Mm-hmm. You know, there are some directors who make working look like, it's rocket science, and it is very, very difficult. And then there are others who make it look like Fred Astaire dancing down the staircase, and that's Rob.
When you were sent the script, was it, I'm in immediately?
Actually, it wasn't immediate. I can't remember. There was something that made it tricky about dates or something like that. And then Emily Blunt, who I've known for quite some time, got involved, and there's really no negotiating once that happens.
A fun character to play because, as you say, there's a few dimensions to the man.
I loved every minute of it. I go into animation form at a certain point as well, which was great fun as well. And no, I mean, it was just a lovely vibe on the set, because it's one thing to, it depends what you're doing. Sometimes you're doing a film because it's supposed to scare people, or sometimes you're doing a film because it's, I don't know, you're trying to enlighten people or do something intense or just make them. This is for kids, and it does unify the kind of general motivation of everybody on set. We just want to delight children.
You say it's for kids, but it's also for adults to remind themselves to be kids.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
kids meaning all of us.
It's just the most wonderful message to walk away from, to kind of not take life too seriously and just have fun.
Yeah.
But I love that the cherry trees are in bloom in this frosty weather. It's magical.
Congratulations on this film.
Thank you.
Jane's wonderful. It's so nice to see her grown up.
I know. I was quite pleased to see her grown up.
Is that something that you and Rob talked about kind of what she'd done on that journey between when we last saw her back in that film? 54 years ago. She's not that old, but kind of maybe what she'd have done in that time.
Well, we didn't actually explicitly discuss it that much. I think it was something that was sort of not much conversation was needed. It was just an understanding of, obviously she followed in her mother's footsteps. She's a bit of an activist, and she's full of love. That's what Rob kept saying. She's just full of love. She spends her whole life loving people and looking after them and trying to help them. From her own brother who's lost his wife at the beginning of the movie and is in a state, to the people the sort of poor and the unemployed and the dispossessed who she works for. But her little secret pain is that she's sort of given up on finding love herself and being loved back by, and then Mary Poppins comes along.